If you put a Nintendo Switch cartridge, certain Nintendo Switch cartridges will get an automatic upgrade of some kind when you put it into a Nintendo Switch 2. And it's not going to be the same for every system. Okay, Super Mario 3D World, Super Mario Odyssey, the toy-like Legend of Zelda games, that's Link's Awakening and Echoes of Wisdom, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, sorry. That's also let's see, Wii U game. That's not a Wii U game.
No, that was a 3DS game, wasn't it?
Which
World?
ones? 3D
3D
Land
World.
was the 3DS game, and
Okay, well, it's a remake of it, right?
no,
Or-
it's a totally new game that happens to be the play on that. And man, rest in peace, King. 3D Land. That's a fun game. One of the best uses of 3D on the system, in my opinion, because you actually know where he's about to land. So a lot of these, you would think it's just screen share. But go ahead. Was somebody about to pop in there?
Oh no, I wasn't going to, but while I have the mic here, I just wanted to say, like, when you see all these games out here, New Super Mario Brothers U, how are they going to upgrade that game? The game looked the same as it did on the Nintendo DS. Like, what more can they do in this free update?
I mean, they got two options. They got unlocking frame rates, which I think that's probably what it is. If the frame rate isn't locked, they will just automatically upgrade that. The other is, and I've got my list of free updates on my Twitter, my X. But if you look, there's a list of them that are not game share. Most of the updates are going to be game share, and that is the paid game chat feature. Sorry, no. Game share you can do from a Nintendo Switch 2. I'm sorry, I was getting my game chats and my game shares mixed up because again, Nintendo doesn't do themselves any favors. These are the ones that are not not game share. So I'm actually kind of surprised that Game Builder Garage isn't. ARMS, The Legend of Zelda's, Game Builder Garage, New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe, and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. This could just be graphical updates, but they're saying they're getting add-ons, features, and things like that, unspecified, free, or well, it's a $450 system, so I don't know if the word free is quite correct. So they will be upgrading some things, but we don't know what. So going from there, then we have the Nintendo Switch 2 editions to add another layer of what in the world is going on with this system on here. And there's only 8 of them, or maybe there's only 6. Let's look. Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which is an existing game, Super Mario Party Jamboree, which is on the Nintendo Switch, and people have cartridges for this game. If you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, there is a question about whether or not there is going to be a Nintendo Switch cartridge and an upgrade pack that could be a card for a download, or if there's going to be a completely different kind of cartridge that is a Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge that will have the additional software on it. I've read the text that's supposedly going to be on that box art, and it looks like it could be an upgrade code, or it could be on a physical cartridge. There's an account called Nintendo Prime that says that he reached out to my Nintendo, and they said, no, it'll all be on one cartridge. But based off of my conversations with Nintendo support about the GameCube controller, I'm waiting for clarity from Nintendo. So I don't know. And a lot of the functionality appears to be the use of the Joy-Con 2 mouse functionality, and also this one will have the camera. The camera's weird.
Mr. Jonas, where do I turn in my essay on how to buy a Switch 2 game?
I don't know.
You would think it would be like an upgrade code. That would be the cheapest.
You would think.
That would be the cheapest thing to do, because the new cartridges are going to have more memory. It's going to have more room. They're obviously going to be more expensive. Just dump it on the old cartridge and then put in the upgrade code, and you run it off the Switch 2 internally, and just have the cartridge as your CD key to get into the game. That's what I would do anyway. I wouldn't put it on a new cartridge. I'd just throw in a little code and let them download it.
Right. And so we can all, and I'm not saying we're all going to disagree. I'm saying if the internet might disagree with this, but if you look at the the rating pending all this text right here. It says includes the Nintendo Switch game and the Nintendo Switch 2 edition upgrade pack. Upgrade pack also available separately. For details, go to the website. And unless they've changed this website, which by the way, that's this website right here, they're still not clarifying what it is. I also wonder if they're not locking themselves down to it will always be a cartridge. I also don't know if there will be more Nintendo Switch 2 editions other than the ones they've just announced. So this one has mouse games and also will be compatible with the camera. I'm just going to throw this in there about the cameras. You don't have to buy the Nintendo Switch 2 camera, which is, I don't know, $50, $60. But you can get other ones, but there's no compatibility list, and you have to plug it into a Nintendo Switch 2 in order to run the compatibility test. So there's no list of compatible cameras until someone else comes up with a list on this. So again, it's Nintendo being crazy weird.
I think you just plug in your PS4 or PS5 cam and you're good.
No, Culture. If you do that, your console will erupt in flames. It's a failsafe.
Maybe
also
you put
just
an old Kinect on it. Maybe.
Yeah, just in case you're thinking you're gonna plug that new USB-C on the top of your Nintendo Switch 2 to plug into the TV and run it like it's a Wii U. By the way, that top one cannot connect to the television, from what I'm hearing. Again, that could be different.
Hey, what if I plug my USB-C hub into it? How many devices can it run off of it?
That's actually a really great question.
Yeah.
Now,
because again, go ahead. USB-C is also not just data and video. It's which is also data. It's also got the ability to charge. So if you need an extra charger in a room, you got your Switch and a hub. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm. So then we get to another layer on top of this. And by the way, I'm hearing from some people that these upgrade packs will be $10 to $20 for the upgrade. However, with the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which are getting graphical updates, and then a GPS app that comes with the game. It's a little bit more than GPS. These will be included free for people who have Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack.
I know the GPS Act is going to actually sync up with the game, but there's already like Zelda, map apps that you can get on your phone. I've used it while playing these games.
Yeah, me too. And they look graphically, they actually look like they're tied to the game because they're very well done. In this case, it is literally like you have arrived at your destination, or the Korok seed is up, and it's kind of cheating, but it's kind of not. I've beaten these games several times over. Well, I actually have not gotten the chance to play Tears of the Kingdom because I've been busy working on YouTube stuff. But Breath of the Wild, this would be the third time going back to beat it for me. But there's a little bit of lore in there, and then and you can trade QR codes and things like that to trade items between people on Breath of the Wild, which if they do an Animal Crossing game and they have this kind of integration, just get ready for people like literally scalping items out of their Animal Crossing to sell on eBay using Nintendo's own methods. So again, I should say. With Tears of the Kingdom, you can trade build.
Will this at least come with a Nintendo Power Map so I can find my way around if I don't have a phone with me?
I don't. It's all in the app. Other than the graphical upgrades, this doesn't change the game itself in any way. You get a second save file, updated graphics, and frame rate. That's all that actually happens if you're not going to integrate the app into it. It's super weird, but they're taking a Wii U game and selling it again, which more power to them if people buy it. Let's see. Kirby and the Forgotten Land is getting DLC. No word on whether or not that'll incorporate mouse functionality. And here's the weirdest one to me. Just a frame rate improvement and a higher frame rate and resolution on Pokemon Legends ZA. That's it.
They know what people will pay for.
Yeah, because the Pokemon fans are nuts. So, yep. I have
been driven crazy. Can you blame them?
They've been buying the same game for like 30 years.
I love it. Marvin, yes, they've been buying this exact same game for years.
Twice!
Yes, thank
They've
you.
been buying the same
Finally,
game twice.
Somebody said it.
Metroid Prime Beyond, I think, is going to be the big one for the Nintendo Switch 2 edition because the graphics will be better. And I don't like mouse functionality on console games. I prefer to keep my PC Master Race separate from my console gaming. But okay, you can seamlessly switch between the mouse mode and the controller, regular controller mode on Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. The graphics are a lot better. If you look 1-to-1, like it is a very different experience on the graphics between the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch 2. I'm very curious what happens if it is on a cartridge, the upgrade pack. What happens when you put a Nintendo Switch 2 edition cartridge of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond into a Nintendo Switch? And when parents ultimately get confused when they say, well, this Switch 2 game works on my Nintendo Switch, why doesn't this Switch game work on my Nintendo Switch 2 or 1? So,
Well, you had the packaging up earlier. Didn't it say that it was going to be bundled with both versions of the game? Am I wrong on that?
yes, but if they're all on one cartridge and that Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge works on a Nintendo Switch 1, I think this creates even more confusion when you get a parent who's not paying attention taking a Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge and putting it in a Nintendo Switch 1. So does it look like a Nintendo Switch 1 cartridge, or does it look like a Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge? Which, if it's Metroid Prime, I would prefer it look like a Nintendo Switch 2